Hello and welcome to Maximum Rising. My name is Stephanie and I'm here to support you in recovering from religious and emotional trauma. Let's start with the breathing, and then I'm going to add Smoky Quartz to help us to release whatever needs to be released in this moment, which is going to be drawn in by this crystal. So you can close your eyes or you can just relax your eyelids. Hand over your heart if you feel so called. Inhaling in for 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, ocean breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, ocean breath. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, ocean breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, ocean breath. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last round, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep going with the breath at your own pace. And turn your gaze and your focus to this smoky quartz. On your next inhale, notice your peripheral vision, what's around the angel, what's around you. And as you exhale, focus your total gaze only on the smoky quartz angel. Allow what needs to be let go, let go. Are there any cords you get to cut and burn from the past? If you feel so called, do that now. On your next inhale, put your awareness in your hands and feet and feel the separation between you and your phone or your computer, however you're watching this. You and the chair and the walls, everything that surrounds you. Just feel that separation. Deep inhale. And exhale out with a sound. Ah. Another inhale. Exhale out with a sound. Ah. Another inhale. Exhale out with a sound. Ah. So now that we're centered and grounded, and I don't know about you, even though it was leaving and that smoky quartz did draw out whatever was heavy. Had a little bit of heaviness, not as much. So another thing that has come up for me during my really emotional recovery is things happen for a reason. And oftentimes when we react to things, whether it be emotional, religious trauma in our case, we react to it from an emotional place. And when we're reacting from an emotional place, we don't have a chance to take a step back and observe as we should. We don't get a chance to see the forest for the trees, meaning that there's a bigger picture. There is a lesson, yes, but what is it that we could have done? In my case, I realized that I could have allowed that person to come and visit me and sit and talk it through. In regards to some other past things, I realized that I was in those situations to push me, as it were, to stand for myself, to know my worth, to know who I be. And when I say know who I be, I mean know who I am becoming. And I look at this for me as this was meant to shake me and that person, to be present and to be in the now, which is what the 8-8 portal is all about. You see, not everybody passed through the 8-8 portal if they were not ready. And in passing through that 8-8 portal, we're still under its shadow, I'll say. It's all about being here and now, forgiving about the past, not worrying about the past, not worrying about the future, but just being centered and grounded and focusing on the now. And this is something that we can all work on and work through and grow through, is being present now. Unfortunately, society has taught us that we need to worry about the future. What if this happens? What if that happens? And as I can attest to this because I was brought up the same way. I was brought up to plan your future. If you meet a prospect for a partnership, you ask him, where does he see himself 5 years from now? Where does he see himself, whatever. And I learned from a twin flame, actually, that even though he was in the Army Reserves, he did not know because all he knew was army, so he didn't know. And, I was taught that I had to know. I was taught that if you don't know, that's a problem. You need to know. And so I have spent my life researching and delving in and looking at things. What do I want to do? What's next? What's this? What's that? Because that's what I was taught. I'm sure we probably all taught this. You need to go to college. You need to get an education. You need to do this. You need to do that. Okay? And there is nothing wrong with any of that. I'm not saying this is wrong. But what I am saying is, and then maybe if you feel so called, I'm inviting you. What would it look like if you didn't know? Would you be okay with that? There's a friend of mine that I went to church with. And her and I had a discussion about, a couple years ago of where she is right now. Like, how do you look at God now? How do you think there is a God? Where are you with that? And she said, I don't know. I don't know if there's a God. I don't know, if there's a hell, a heaven, any of it. I don't know. And maybe some of you can relate to that. And she didn't know. And she felt so empowered. She felt so comfortable and so safe that she did not know. And I felt that was interesting. For me, in that moment, not knowing would be really scary to me. That's why I started out, as I shared before, looking up books. Did Jesus really exist? I had a Bible study at one point. I was in a Bible study group with some people from high school on Facebook. I did all the things because I was just trying to find answers, and I called myself a spiritual wanderer. Okay? Because I needed to know. I needed to know. But as I did inner child work, and inner child is that, for me, was that 5-year-old little girl. For you, it could be when you built your heart wall. When your heart decided to protect itself by building a protective energy around it. Okay? We all, at one point in our life, have had one. And if you are recovering from emotional and religious trauma, you have one. Okay? And at any moment, it can rebuild itself. This is exactly why it is extremely important for us to consistently work on ourselves. Okay? And to put the focus on yourself, as I put the focus on myself. Okay? And the reason why that's so important is because not only does it open your heart, but you get to know the inner you. We're so focused on the outer world that someone's going to come save us. In religion, you call Jesus he died on the cross, he's going to come save you, blah, 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 blah. Not true. Okay? People say, well, Stephanie, that's your opinion. I believe in Jesus. Okay. That's you. For me, that is no longer true. I would just speak for myself. For me, that is no longer true. I believe that his name was Yeshua. I know he existed. I know that he does support me, but not in the way I was taught. But anyway, the inner child for me was that 9-year-old girl that was hurt. That's when my heart wall was built with flowers. I want to say they were pansies. They were purple in the middle and white on the outside. Beautiful flowers. And that's when I actually started liking purple, when I was 9 years old. But as I worked on myself, I did have emotion code from my Taurus friend and the co-worker who took over when she left to go to Florida, who was a Libra. And it's interesting for me that I went from being Taurus, which Taurus is very focused on being fixed and continuing what Aries started, right? Aries, like, if we're going to go fast, right? Taurus is, okay, but let's maintain what we have and let's take it slow, and eventually we'll pick up speed again. So Taurus is a bull. If you watch a bull when it first starts off, it starts off slow. Okay? It's not like a horse. It's not like a ram, I should say. It's not like a ram where it's gone. But when it does pick up speed, oh man, is it fast. So, so the Taurus wants to, let's maintain this. Let's ground this in, okay? And that's what happened. I was grounded in. And then you look at the Libra, okay? So the Libra went off balance. The feels, man, the feels. I was talking to a Leo yesterday about this. The feels. Their whole world will come to an end, okay? So the Libra continued to help me with emotion code and get me into balance to the point where I wanted to continue and she wanted to help me, but just the timing was off. So I brought the book Emotion Code. There is an updated version. I forgot who it's by. But there's only one book, to my knowledge, called Emotion Code. The guy does happen to be Christian. And I'm saying this to show people, to show those of us that have a lot of resentment towards Christianity, that not everybody in Christianity is a narcissist. Okay. This guy has a very open mind, and he looks at God, source, whatever, very different than your typical Christian. Okay, it took me a long time to realize that not all Christians are the same. To realize that some people that are religious, they do bring in spirituality. It's a marriage for them. And for those people, good for them. Am I into religion at all? No, I refuse to go back there because of my experience. But I'm very detached emotionally from it and feels great. So I learned a lot. I learned a lot about muscle testing. And if you're up for it, I would like to demonstrate it. So, how I do it is with, I can do this or I can do this. So we'll start with this because I feel like this may be easier for some people because this is how I started out. So what I do is, to see if this is a testable muscle, I say my name. So my name is Stephanie. So as I say my name is Stephanie, say your true name. My name is Stephanie Gillis. Okay? And this holds strong because this is my name. Okay? Now, I will say another name and say that it's me. My name is Michelle Kaufman. So automatically, I'm feeling a strain, a pull right here, okay? And notice how my fingers went down. So I invite you to do the same thing. Say a different person's name and say it's you. And then muscle test. Okay? So you notice how these two went down, right? Because that's not who you are. And this has really helped me get in tune with my body and to listen to my body. Because the body, if you tell everybody I'm fine, your body will tell a different story. So another way to muscle test, love, okay? Love. Okay, so that tests strong. Hate automatically goes down, and I can resist. So the point of this is to resist, right? And you don't have to push like this, okay? I'm just letting my fingers rest here, and either these fingers can resist it or I can't. Okay? And so by doing this exercise, it helps you to understand your body knows the difference between a high vibration, that's love, and a low vibration, that's hate. So in the emotion code, they have this chart that I used to use all the time. And in this chart, you ask your body different questions. You know, is it in this row? Is it sadness? Is it unresolved emotion? Is it happiness? Is it, whatever? And you can even say, is this from me? Is this from someone else? If it's test strong, that means yes, it's from you. If it's but if it test is weak, then it's not from you. So I do invite you to get this book because it really helped me to start really listening to my body and really tuning in to the point where I rarely muscle test anymore. My gut is what tells me. For instance, yesterday, I realized I was in a little bit of anxiety because there was still some residence of what happened. So I just started typing on my computer and watching the words flow and everything like that. Slowly, like this heaviness was lifted and my gut started to settle down and calm down. And I was able to eat. And the reason why I needed to tap into that is my gut was really uneasy. And there were periods where it would get settled and everything because I would speak out what was going on. And this is another reason why it pays to journal, why it pays to talk about things, why it pays to do emotion code if you're drawn to it, or have a Reiki session. If you need a Reiki session, I'm here for you. You do not need to be in front of me for a Reiki session or star healing, okay? To use crystals, like the one we just used at the beginning for our meditation. To even tap into your birth chart. Know what your rising sign is. Know what your moon sign is. To start with your sun, your moon, and your rising sign, those three. So that way you get to know where you need to work on to go to where you're headed. For me, even though I am a Scorpio, very much a Scorpio rising, the Virgo sun in me is still there because of what I do for a living. Being a licensed massage therapist, you get to nurture people. You get to listen to them, okay? I get to be earth. And in doing that, I get to do that though without judgment, right? That shadow side of Virgo that likes to judge and be critical and be hard on herself or himself and other people. That part is now gone. Does it creep up? Of course, but I get to remind myself, hey, we get to let's be gracious to ourselves. Let's love ourselves, right? So that part is still there. And being detached from outcome, which is the Aquarius in me, is still there. And I don't like conflict. I absolutely hate conflict. I was never a conflict person until I was pushed. And once I had had enough, I turned Scorpio and I let you have it. But now that I'm more aware of my body, more aware of what's going on inside of me, and continually am aware, I can now catch when I'm feeling a certain way and get to communicate with my body, okay, what's going on? Why are we feeling this way? What's going on? Or if I'm getting up and I want to get up and I'm asking my body, okay, are we ready? What do you think? Are you ready to get up? Are you ready to get moving? In conversations, which I still get to work on, just listening Just holding space for that person, not commenting, not saying, well, this is what you need to do. That person is not necessarily asking you for advice. Sometimes they just want you to listen. Sometimes they just need to vent. They're not complaining. They're not being whatever you think they're being. They just want you to hold space for them. That's it. And what, Stephanie, what do you mean by holding space? I understand. Be quiet. Be present. Breathe with them. Nurture them in silence. Total focus on them, not your phone, not what you're going to do next week, next year, not what happened in the past, not, oh, this is why I'm going to tell them when they're finished. Just be with them. That's all. Just be with them. And as a generator, that is something that is a learning curve for me. And I'm laughing because in the book that I have for human design, it says that when a generator takes over a conversation, boy, can they talk, and boy, can nobody get a word in. And I laugh because that's still true. That is still true. But I'm learning to catch myself. Yesterday I was talking to a client and I was just commenting and sharing, and he kept talking. I'm like, be quiet. Take a step back. This is time for you to listen. Okay, gotcha. So observe, as I will be doing. This is homework for both of us. Observe why you want to react. Why do you want to give advice? Why do you want to do that? Is this person asking you for advice? If not, then maybe you need to stay in your own lane. I'm learning to do the same thing. If you want people to meet you at your boundaries, meet them at their boundaries. And if you feel the need, maybe ask them, hey, do you mind if I give you advice? And if they say no, that's something that you're going to have to learn to accept. You can even say, do you mind if I give you feedback on what I was feeling with that? And if they say no, they say no. There's nothing you can do about it, because to do it anyway, that's disrespecting their boundaries. But if they say yes, okay, say what you have to say and then leave it. Don't worry about, are they going to do it? That's none of your business. And I'm saying this to you because I am still learning this myself. It is none of my business if the person takes my advice, including you. It is none of my business if you take this advice, if you take what I'm learning and I'm sharing with you. It's none of my business. You can take this or leave it. It's none of my business what you do with it. And that, my friend, is being detached to the outcome. I'm going to say that again. That is being detached from the outcome. Okay? So those are some examples of, what happened during the 8-8 gateway, and what we can do to really listen to our bodies. And the reason why I'm also mentioning this is because when you don't listen to your body, when you are pushing yourself, several things can happen. Dis-ease, sickness, anxiety, fear, all these other low vibrations happen for us to wake us up so we can listen to our body. Okay? And my last point is this. Something that I am still breathing in is I own nothing. Not even my body. My body does not belong to me. My spirit is in this avatar, borrowing this avatar so I can live this human experience, so I can learn, so I can move on to whatever is next for me. And it's the same thing with you. Know that you own nothing. And that in and of itself has changed the way that I look at things. You do not own your children. You do not own your spouse, your partner. You don't own your body. You don't own that car. material, all of these things. We are spirits and avatar bodies living a human experience. And it is up to us if we learn these lessons or if we refuse to learn it and keep going through the loop until we do. So with that, thank you so much for listening. If you like everything that was said here, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends, share with your family, and I will see you soon.